Hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Jazz Guitar Hour at UIS. Organizing my screens here. Cool. Yeah, so I'm here every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time, Illinois. Yeah, let me know if you have questions, if you have suggestions for topics for now or for the future. Forget about the past. So I started off with a tune by Bud Powell called Celia. A little bit of a loose interpretation. What about it? It's a song. It sounds a little bit almost like a rhythm changes because it's AABA and it has a bridge and it's in the key of B flat, but it's not. It's not really the progression. Instead of doing 1 6 2 5 1, it goes 1 2 3 and then minor 4. So that's Celia, and the bridge goes to G minor, the relative minor, or a 2 5 to the minor. I think it may be dominant. Sounds a little bit like a rhythm changes. So Bud Powell, very important figure from the bebop times. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna play something else. I was thinking of a topic today. What's a good topic? I don't know. Oh yeah, reharmonization. I haven't talked too much about reharmonization on this thing. What is reharmonization? It's when you change the chords of a song, basically. So I have a couple that I have worked out. Sometimes you can do reharmonizations on the spot. You can start playing a tune and change the chords as you wish during your interpretation. But sometimes you can also work out beforehand. Try out different chords. I'm gonna play a song called "My One and Only Love," standard, and I have some different changes for it. So let's see if you like it. My version of "My One and Only Love." All right, so a couple of different chords, right, on "My One and Only Love." In case if you're not familiar with the original, there's two different sets of changes that are very commonly played. Let me think though. Let's see if I can remember. That's when you make arrangements of a song. You gotta watch out so you don't forget how to play the normal version. Let's see if I remember the normal. One way, like let's see. Do ri ra ri ra ti ru ra ti ra pi ra ra ti ra ti ra da ti ra pa ra ri ra lo ri ra ro ro lu ra ri ra lo ri. See, I didn't change that many things, so they do a 1/6, almost 1/625 here. So what did I do? See, a couple of different sounds. That's a chord. If you can see, if you understand, it's like a sus-ish sound. It is sus, but it has because it has the 11, the fourth here, but it also has a major third on top. So it's like a mixolydian sound. But the melody's on there's an E on the melody as well that I don't really play it together. You could, a little bit shocking, but I just do it as a passing note. So what else? Oh yeah. So from this chord, from so A major, B flat, sus. And then there's like a F, half diminished. I don't remember the chords. I'm going for the shapes and the sound. So the same phenomenon happens before. Like it's a chord that if you put it doesn't really work. It has the flat 9 on the melody, but since it's just a passing note, you know, it doesn't really hurt. So yeah, then I land on the same chord. It's just a cool voicing. I think I got it from one of my favorite guitar players, Kurt Rosenwinkel, who I go back and forth between. Like, I mean, yeah, it's one of my favorite right now for a long time. It's a D minor. Yeah, if you do your regular D minor, but here you have the option of play the open E, which gets this crunchiness with the because there's an F on the chord here. You know, yeah. So a couple of things. If I'm taking this long to talk about the first 4 bars, I'm gonna take a year to talk about the whole progression. So Frank is saying around midnight, flat second, fourth, etc. S sharp 9 on as I real book. Linking sharp 9 since it's one chord instead of trying to learn the changes everyone uses. All right, Frank. Well, everyone plays it different, to be honest. Like with people that I play this song, every time it's kind of like a fight. Uh, I'll be honest. I'm not a super fan of the real book of the iReal book. I like calling the Unreal book. um, but I mean, you have the option to change to adjust the changes as you want. Let me say, maybe I can play the way I. Oh, the intro. Let me see how does the intro go. What about it? I don't know if I remember. And are you talking of? Let's see. It's like. If I can get one chord, I may get the rest. That's not it. Maybe it starts in A, I think. I think it's A have the diminished D7, and then G have the yeah, that's what it is. It starts in A. So linking sharp 9 or liking sharp 9 instead of D. And I mean, so this is, so let's say maybe I think you're talking about the very beginning here. Yeah, I see bits 3 and 4. Okay, those things. Yeah, A have diminished and D flat. Those chords, like if you have either A flat 7 or a D7 flat 9 or sharp 9, those things are interchangeable. You know, you can just say like, because check out the sound of a. That's A flat 7, sharp. You're saying flat 5, or you could call it sharp 11 as well. In my opinion, my humble opinion, it doesn't really matter. You can play either or either. And I mean, like the flat 9, you know, maybe one example in which you really like the chart is specific about, oh, you need to play a flat 9. Maybe if the melody is on the flat 9. But usually, like this, is what you want to hear there. It's a D flat altered. You know, so see, I'm playing sharp 9 and sharp 5 here. You know, and it sounds right, like. Or it could be anything if you think of the altered scale. Or it could even be more than just the altered. But thinking of the altered scale, you can add altered either flat or sharp 9, flat 9, sharp 9, or and mix and match that with flat 5 and or sharp 5. Those are all interchangeable. Don't get too hung up on like if you see a chart that says flat 9. 96% of the times it could also be a flat sharp 9 or flat 9. But let's see. Uh, see now I'm changing the voice. And when you have the thing of A flat, like always when you have an altered chord, that's one of the first when I was talking about reharmonization. So this ties to that. One of the simplest things to change the harmony of a tune is instead of playing the 5, which is in this case is the D7. Every time you have a D7, you can play the tritone sub. What that's supposed to mean? Instead of playing D7, you play A7, and it's basically the same sound. Like see if I don't know if you're a saxophone player, I don't know if you know guitar shapes, but you can hear the sounds for sure. So see, with D on bass, now basically the same chunk. Most of the like those chords are interchangeable. That's what I'm trying to get at when it gets to the tritone sub. I'll just play it and let's see what happens. Okay, so around midnight, Thelonious Monk. Very controversial tune in terms of changes, Frank. So a couple of I talked about this a little bit a while ago about a couple of chords that are debatable here. So for the very beginning, like a lot of people play, I played my favorite, which makes sense. I hope, but with the descending bass line, in the beginning, like E flat over D, E flat over D flat, and then C half diminished, and then a 2/5 that would go to G flat. And I'm positive this is like I'm assuming the real book version. It's probably close to the real book. I'm not sure because how do they have that? Maybe they have going to a 5. I'm not sure how the charts. I get to sing it while I play it on guitar. Oh, there you go, play guitar as well. But yeah, but the changes here, so like the way I like playing, and I mean, I learned it from a Monk version of Thelonious Monk recording. I like the way Wes Montgomery plays it. A lot. That's thing that has been recorded a lot. So it's kind of funny to me to think of how the real changes of version. You can see lots of people arguing that like, oh, those changes are wrong. But I'm positive that I mean I know for a fact that Monk recorded it in many different ways. Like you can find at least I don't know 10 recordings of Thelonious Monk playing around midnight, and each one he does something different. And I'm pretty sure the real book matches one of those. You know. But I like them just to see the way I was thinking about it. I was E flat, the descending bass, and then C half diminished, and then a 2/5 that would go to E flat, back to C. That's also a kind of a turning point if you're used to playing one way. A lot of people just go to E back to E flat minor here, but instead you can go to C half diminished, which is kind of different, and then F7. And here, that's everybody plays the same. B minor, E7, half step down. Now that 2/5 that would go to G flat and never did, now it does. On my interpretation here, because some people don't do that. Some people go back to E flat minor, A flat 7, but I usually do. I resolve the 2/5 and then a 7 half step up and another 7, another half step up. Make sense? Then another interesting point with this tune, it's the melody itself, the opening melody, right? Because it's a remarkable thing. Isn't that so cool? Very pretty melody, but then Miles Davis recorded like this. He changed like the most important thing. And I mean, he's Miles Davis, I'm not gonna complain. People do complain about Miles Davis interpretation, especially of Monk's tune. I love it. I don't care. And then other people learn from the Miles Davis version and also play like that instead of. Yeah. In the end of the day, I think the best thing is to like learn as many different versions as you can, and in the end of the day, you're gonna come up with your own, right? I mean, not necessarily that you're gonna play whatever you want and call it round midnight, but just just have a foundation for whatever you're gonna play. Let's say maybe I do have I used to I have on my YouTube channel a reharmonization of that I don't remember even the first chord, but maybe let me try to mess around with it, just see if I can find on purpose here. I was mentioned that reharmonizations can be worked out, or can be improvised. Let's see if they really can be improvised. All right, some wrong chords in here, ending in a major chord. So that probably should be called round around noon instead of round around midnight, right? But yeah, I don't really know. There's like sometimes you can follow theoretic aspects. Like for example, you can always there's some things that tend to work. Don't there's no certainty in music or in life. The philosophy section of the thing, but if you have a minor chord, you can usually replace that with the relative major. So, that's gonna sound funny probably. Puro, purororira. Sounds weird. But maybe like changing chords in the same key. But then you can play if you want to be a little bit more adventurous. Let's say then you can make the relative major, but make it a minor. Let's see if the melody. It's probably gonna be more interesting, or whatever. The note melody note here is like I'm just thinking about making it a major 7. That changes completely the. Ooh, I like it. If you wanna make it we can make the melody note whatever you want. I'm gonna make it the 5 of a sus chord. Let's see. Oh, good. I'm gonna make it a sharp 5 of a major 7 chord. See? I think it works. Everything works. If you play with conviction. I really like one thing that I saw from Herbie Hancock, another idol, like really, really the man, the king of the universe. So one interview with him in which he said that sometimes he lets his brain do the work, sometimes his fingers, and sometimes his heart. I think that's the three elements, which makes perfect sense. Like sometimes just like I don't know. See, this is a very absolutely finger oriented type of thing. I'm just moving my fingers, and also I don't know how I'm gonna explain the heart. It's just I guess you just or the thing that I was doing, like the more brainy thing is just like when I said I'm gonna make it the major 7. I'm gonna make the melody note the major 7 of whatever chord. In this case, G. So that's absolutely brain oriented. Or I'm gonna make it the sharp 11. Oh man, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna be here forever. Now the 11 of a minor chord. See, it could be anything. The major 3rd. Then D. Very brainy. Now heart, that's harder to explain. This is when you're just feeling and you're like, oh, you should go here, and then you go. That's the best, probably. But yeah, around midnight. Let's see, maybe I'll play something else. Let's see if something else pops up. Right, so that's a tune by Antônio Carlos Jobim. The name of it is Só Danço Samba. The translation, I don't know who did the translation. They changed the meaning of it. They just call it jazz. I think it was recorded as jazz in samba. Let me take a little water. But Só Danço Samba it means I only dance the samba. And in case you noticed or in case you didn't, the harmony here, it's basically the same changes of Take the A Train. You know. Poda buda ba poda da ba ba da ba ba poda buda ba poda bo pe po pa po pe pom pom peron pam to bodo ba da bodo ba da perum. Bridge is a little bit different. Take the A Train goes straight to F major, but Só Danço Samba starts on the 2 to go to F major. But it's basically the same thing. And then A minor, D7, D minor, G7. So, and I mean, that's progression. It's found in thousands of tunes. Just speaking of Jobim, Desafinado. What else? The Girl with Emphysema. What else? There are many. Yeah. Oh yeah, the thing I wanted to talk a little bit about the just ideas for accompanying in Brazilian music that just basically using all your fingers, you know. What is that supposed to mean? Like just thinking of 80 in 2/4, like 1 2 1 2 1 2, to thinking in 16th notes, like tagaraga 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 1 2 3 4. So, and then creating rhythms with that, even like getting creative with the finger style aspect, like. Yeah, that's very unfair for me to say just get creative, because I'm doing patterns that I took from people that from stuff that I've heard, especially this type of thing like this, very rhythmic. João Bosco, that's a guy to check out. Like this thing here. Yeah, I'm thinking about this because I did last Friday, I think. Yeah, I did a master class at the University of Iowa where I did my master's. So really wonderful to see my old teachers. They're not old, but my former teachers. And they were one thing that they asked a lot about. They were asking about the different comping rhythms in Brazilian music. So, and then I would say the best thing to do is just check out the music. Like I just said, João Bosco, a couple of other people, Dori Kaimi, a couple of the guy that I did my doctoral dissertation on, Toninho Horta. I'm gonna play a Toninho Horta tune. Okay. Which one? I'll play a weird one that starts with this weird chord. It's called Moonstone. It's the name of an album of his as well. And he plays it a duo with Pat Metheny. I'm not gonna sound better than any of them, but I'm gonna play I may sing it as well. I don't remember the whole words, but let's sing just vocalize. It's like. Oh man, that's a tricky tune. Pedra da Lua, meaning moonstone. So here's a very, very interesting combination of the Herbie Hancock thing: fingers, brain, and heart. Right? I mean, you can see like the same shapes moving around, but that creates such a beautiful texture. Like, oh man. Then it changes. Tricky to improvise. Yeah, I don't know if that was a pro. If it's a tune, I don't know. It kind of calls you to play really melodically over, versus relying on bebop patterns. That wouldn't really work. Pat Metheny does an incredible job to play the tune on that record on the album Moonstone. But yeah, the first chord, it's really like, what do you play over that? It's a Jimi Hendrix, but it's with the major 7. So the answer for that is, and with the sharp 11 on top. So major 7, sharp 9, and sharp 11. That chord is in the kind of forgotten in jazz scale, the harmonic minor. It's a sixth mode of the harmonic minor. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth mode of A flat harmonic minor. So that's the sound. It's a very strong sound. Like, you don't hear that too much. I mean, you hear it in Pulp Fiction. It's a little bit different. What's now that I mentioned? What is? How does it go? Ah, yeah, It's the Pulp Fiction is it's even weirder because I don't know what scale is that, but it has. If it was like this, then it's just a mode of the sixth mode of the melodic minor, which works over the 20th chord. You have to be a little bit careful that it doesn't sound like the harmonic minor. I think especially this part here. It's a very strong sound. You have to be careful that it doesn't sound like ethnic in a cheesy way. I hope that doesn't come across strange. If it does, just I'm not too worried about it. You can ask me. We can talk. What I mean by that. But it's like it's not the sound that you. Another option for that chord that, in my opinion, may work better, but it doesn't have all the notes in the chord. But to play the E augmented scale. Is it right? Let's see. I think it's even. Yeah. See, it's kind of a weird sound that fits. Yeah. You have all these patterns. Next time you encounter that chord, you give me a call and say, hey. There are a couple of so in doing my research to find out about that chord, I found it in a couple of songs that I played and that are on the real book, but this chord is not listed on the real book. I find it fascinating. It's on Speaking of Evil. Speaking of Evil, a Wayne Shorter song played in jam sessions forever. It's here like on the bridge. I don't remember all the chords, but the bridge does like a something like that. The very that chord before starting the A section again. It's that guy, major 7 sharp 9. And it's also on, that's easier to hear, and that I remember all the chords, on Joe Henderson's Inner Urge. And we're talking about the 60s, So, that note was not supposed to be there. And then... So this guy here, everybody plays, not everybody, most people, it's on the real book as just major 7 sharp 11. This sound here, which works with the melody. Let's see, where were we? The microphone in front of the guitar, it's not a good combination. That's it. Which see, all the notes fit, like the just major 7, just the leading sound. However, the Joe Henderson plays McCoy Tyner on the recording, but the chord is actually this guy here. It's sharp 9, major 7 sharp 9. But then on the blowing, on the improvisation section, they just play regular major 7 sharp 11. Okay. Play over this Inner Urge thing a little bit. Cool. Very great song to display your virtuosity or your lack of virtuosity. uh, Tricky tune, huh? Especially the last section here. It's like fairly tricky. I don't know. Everybody complains about Giant Steps. I think this is more difficult than Giant Steps. There's so many tunes that are more difficult than Giant Steps. Um, Even Coltrane's Moment's Notice. The way the changes change, the way the chords move. Or maybe I'm just more used to Giant Steps. I don't know. But that's the song that, and it also mixes like it's modal. So it says like the first half of the tune is just one. Each chord lasts 4 bars, a long time. And then a bunch of like the Lydian sound. That's what predominates in the song. Lydian meaning major 7 sharp 11. Moving in minor descending major seconds. And here comes the crazy major 7 thing, like E minor third up. Did I say up? It's down. Minor third down. Then the same progression but half step up. Is it right? E. This thing of playing and saying the names of the things. I don't really feel sorry for being for messing that up, because if you watch, I remember watching Joe Pass, and he like having a really hard times, and like the one and the what is that? He's playing a rhythm change, and it's really funny. I think it was influenced by it was not negative, it was just funny. But big shout out to Joe Pass wherever you are. Uh, E major, D flat major, D major, and then minor third down. Then C minor third down, all major 7s, and then B flat, G. That's what it is. And to play over that, what do? You play a note and you pray that it's right. So. Yeah, what's Frank? The Unreal Book, leaving out the major 7 sharp 9 and the. Yeah, but that's another one that when I remember playing jam sessions when I used to know that tune. Isn't it right? I forgot. But nobody plays that chord. I think they just play sharp 11, right? Yeah. But so yeah, to improvise over that, it's a very very great exercise, to play, especially that section of Inner Urge. That could be a hip hop vamp. But it's after the really overwhelming changes that move so quickly, he gives you a big relief by getting back to the modal section. Right. And just a final thing about that tune, to close it out, almost 7. Yeah. Thanks for joining, everybody. Uh, yeah, we're here. That's the Jazz Guitar Hour at UIS, now at UIS, University of Illinois Springfield. Uh, which I have been lucky to be teaching here. Hopefully we can continue. And yeah, I was gonna say the half diminished chord. One thing that for inner urge, to deal with that as a mode of the melodic minor by adding a major 9 to the F sharp half diminished. So that means, what is that supposed to mean? That means you're gonna play the A melodic minor. The F sharp is gonna be the 6th mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. So the sound that goes with that would be. You know? Cool. Anywho, I'll see you next time, next Wednesday at 6. Let me know if you have questions. Thanks, Frank, for joining. Always good to see people like bringing, just firing up the ideas here. Much better than a monologue. Alrighty, later.